2026 could be a massive year for gaming. We've had Crimson Desert, an absolutely massive, revolutionary game. In autumn, or fall if you're American, a legendary RPG franchise is returning with a complete reboot. Capcom are on a generational run. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is back, bigger and better than ever. And some of the biggest survival games on the planet are getting long-awaited sequels. And somehow they're all arriving around the same time. So stick around to find out why 2026 might be the greatest year in gaming history. Let's start with the obvious one, shall we? Because if we're talking about massive years in gaming, there's one game that completely overshadows everything else: Grand Theft Auto 6. There are a good amount of other games on this list that are going to make 2026 an incredible year for gaming, but GTA 6 is carrying a lot of that weight on its shoulders. The last time Rockstar released a brand new GTA was back in 2013 with Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that has gone on to sell over 190 million copies. Let me say that again. 190 million, which is honestly ridiculous when you think about it. That's a game that came out on the PlayStation 3, and this is still one of the most played games today. Since then, AI has taken over the planet. Harry Potter's being remastered. Basically, all the YouTubers became boxers, and somehow 100 men versus 1 gorilla is still considered a serious debate now. 100 men win, obviously. Okay, so are we all caught up now? Oh. It says here there was also some kind of global pandemic. Whatever. So the expectations and hype for GTA 6 are hotter than the fire that literally burnt Rockstar Studios down. I swear, if Rockstar released some statement about all their GTA files burning in a fire, I am gonna crash out. Anyway, the game releases in November of 2026. A brand new Vice City, new characters, and a world that will probably be more detailed than anything we've ever seen before. Like, literally anything. Rockstar have been working on this game for 13 years. It's literally the biggest game release in history. Like, am I wrong? If Rockstar deliver even slightly, this game alone could define an entire generation of gaming. And we'll get to another huge open world game releasing soon in just a second, but before that, one of the most iconic horror franchises in gaming history has already made its return: Resident Evil Requiem. After years of experimenting with different styles, this feels like a game that really leans into what made Resident Evil so popular in the first place, but with a modern touch that just makes everything feel even more immersive. It reminds us that long-running franchises can still evolve while staying true to what made them great in the first place, especially when professionals like Capcom are leading that evolution. And talking about Capcom, let's look at another one of their masterpieces this year. Now, this one is a bit different from everything else on this list, because Capcom aren't just releasing sequels and reboots this year. They built something entirely new: Pragmata. Set on a lunar research station in the near future, you play as Hugh, a spacefarer, and Diana.
Hugh. Diana.
A young android girl, as they fight their way through a facility that's been completely taken over by a rogue AI. And here's what makes the gameplay genuinely unique. You control both of them at the same time. Hugh handles the gunplay, weapons, movement, a jetpack for dodging, while Diana uses her hacking ability to crack open the armor of enemy robots, exposing weak points for Hugh to shoot. It's like rubbing your head and patting your stomach. Or is it patting your stomach and rubbing your head? I don't even know, but it's more fun than that. It's actually really engaging combat. And the gaming community has taken notice. It shifted over 1 million copies in just its first 2 days. Not bad for a brand new IP with no existing fanbase to fall back on. It currently sits at a rating of 86 on Metacritic, which puts it right up there with some of the best games of 2026. And what really makes this game special is the relationship between Hugh and Diana. You're her protector, this android girl who's never experienced the world, and it's your job to keep her safe. But it's deeper than that. Diana has this endless curiosity. She's quick to learn. She reacts with this innocent wonder to everything around her. And somewhere along the way, she starts teaching you things too. This hardened security operative being shown the world through the eyes of someone experiencing it for the first time. It's that classic unlikely duo energy, but done in a way that just hits the spot. This game was first announced back in 2020 and got delayed, then delayed again, then delayed indefinitely. A lot of people have basically written it off, but Capcom kept going, and what they've delivered is one of the most original games they've made in years. So yeah, Capcom are absolutely cooking right now, but hold your horses, and bears, and dragons, and mechs. Because next up, we've got a game that honestly somehow is both ridiculous and absolutely incredible. Crimson Desert. I've been waiting for this game for a while, ever since it was first announced back in 2020. At first glance, it looks like your typical fantasy RPG. Big world, big monsters, big swords. But then you actually play it, and everything just feels turned up to another scale. First of all, let's look at the combat. Characters being thrown across battlefields, you being thrown across battlefields by incredibly strong bosses, massive physics-driven fighting, a huge array of combat styles so you can tailor the combat to your preference. Want to fight defensive and parry? Go for it. Want to be more aggressive? Have at it. You can even use the environment to your advantage if you want, or you could use one of the many mounts to choose from and slay enemies on horseback or bareback, raptorback, dragonback, or mechback? Yeah. There are mechs. There are a total of 29 mounts in the game, and with that, 400 enemies and 76 bosses to utilize the vast combat systems in this game. And on top of that, 3 different playable characters with completely different fighting styles: Cliff, Damien, and Unka. Now, I want to talk about the life systems. We've got farming, fishing, cooking, alchemy, crafting, an active and fluctuating economy, minigames like target practice, gambling, arm wrestling, and on top of all of this and so much more, we have a faction system. You can build and upgrade your camp, take on other factions and invade their strongholds, and send members of your camp out to complete tasks for allied strongholds and towns. The world in this game just feels endlessly explorable, with so many mechanics that take the exploration to another level. Crimson Desert is an extremely unique game, and after all the dust has settled and we've all pumped enough time into this game, it could end up being one of the most impressive RPGs we've ever seen. And then there's the return of a true classic. Fable. If you grew up playing Xbox back in the day, you already know how special these games were. A fantasy RPG where your choices actually shaped your character. Be good and you become a hero. Be evil and slowly turn into something straight out of a nightmare. And now it's coming back. Fully rebuilt with modern graphics and what looks like the same charm that made the original games so loved, but taken to an entirely new level. This game looks incredible. It has a real fun combat style, beautiful graphics, and you can create your own character to explore the beautiful world of Albion. And of course, because it's a Fable game, your choices have consequences, good or bad, or somewhere in between. If they get this right, Fable could easily become one of the biggest RPG releases in years. But not every big game coming out is about combat or fantasy worlds. Subnautica 2. If you've ever played the original, you already know where this is going. A beautiful ocean on an alien planet that slowly turns into one of the most terrifying gaming experiences out there. The sequel promises bigger worlds, deeper oceans, and even more creatures lurking in the dark, which is great, unless you have even the slightest fear of deep water. Oh man, my thalassophobia is not gonna like this game.
What is that?
But what makes all of this more interesting is what's happening behind the scenes. Game development is evolving fast, like really fast. Just take the recent unveiling of that NVIDIA DLSS 5 for example. Yeah, the gaming community really haven't taken that well, but we'll get to that in another video. Subscribe by the way so you don't miss out on it. Studios now have access to tools that allow them to build worlds at a scale that just wasn't possible before, and we're already starting to see that shift. For example, in early previews of upcoming projects like The Witcher 4, there was literally a worldwide earthquake from all the jaws hitting the floor when this CD Projekt Red sneak peek was announced. It looks unbelievable. In 2026, you better be ready for bigger worlds, more detail, more immersion, and brand new systems we've never even seen before. Which means the games releasing over the next few years might not just be bigger, they actually might redefine what modern games can be. So, when you take a step back and look at everything coming together, GTA 6, Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, Crimson Desert, Fable, Subnautica 2, and so much more, plus a new generation of technology pushing everything forward, it really starts to feel like 2026 could be something special. Of course, there's always the chance that some of these games get delayed. Rockstar, don't you dare do it. Because, let's be honest, that's basically part of gaming at this point. But even if a few of these live up to the hype, which, let's be honest, they just will, 2026 might genuinely go down as one of the greatest years in gaming history. As you might see, this is a brand new channel, so any support is greatly appreciated. Get in there early and subscribe, like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Flamesy out.